Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about intelligence and what intelligence is, and that most people in this world do not are not intelligent. So intelligence is the able to make vital connections. Able to make vital connections. Now, this video, um, I can say a lot in this video. But I really want to get to the heart of it because if we're not making, if we're not questioning everything, questioning and really not buying into everything, then we're not really intelligent because we're not making these vital connections, making the vital connections when it comes to politics and government and police force, making the vital connections when it comes to the food that we're eating, especially the animal foods that we're eating, meat, dairy, eggs, honey, etc., and making the connection with any other aspect of our lives. We need to realize that we are not, first of all, we're not intelligent. Because again, intelligence is the ability to make vital connections. So if we're doing things conventionally and following majority of the crowd, we're not being intelligent. And so we can't consider ourselves intelligence. Now, intelligence is not the ability to build something or use technology or create technology or whatever. It's not that. It's the ability to make vital connections. So if we can't understand the larger picture and the smaller and how everything evolves around the larger picture. The microcosm is the macrocosm, vice versa, because it's all one and the same. It's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. We don't need to understand maybe science behind it, or we don't need to really know why or how. We are just all interconnected, and we realize that with just innately within us. We don't need proof that something, for example, we don't need proof that that mango tree in front of me is I mean, I can see the mango tree in front of me. It's a tree. It's there, it's alive. If other people were here, they would say the same thing, that I have a mango tree right in front of me and it's growing. It has fruit on it. Or if you're looking at a car tire, that is an actual tire. You cannot dispute anything. That is a tire. But what people tend to forget is that things that you absolutely cannot see may be reality. Because we're so materialistic, we only see material things if it doesn't exist in physical form in this dimension, then it doesn't exist. It's not real, it's not true. So our thoughts, there's thoughts. We have thoughts, but you can't see them. You can't see thoughts. So do they exist? Do they actually exist? So that's the thing that we need to question. We need to question all these things. Now, of course, we have thought because we can. I mean, I have a thought now of a deer, for example. I have this thought of a deer. I can say anything. I can say I have a thought of a tomato, and I do because I'm thinking about that right now. So, the whole idea about this world is really to question things, to not take things so lightly. Now, this pertains specifically to, I mean, anything basically, but specifically to the COVID-19 because I think this is the real big issue that we're facing here in 2020. Now, nobody will really know the truth behind COVID-19. I tell you that seriously. Nobody will really know exactly what is going on. No matter if you're the utmost researcher and you're going into this in detail, no matter if you're a scientist and you're actually experimenting and trying out all the things in order to figure out if COVID really exists, no matter if you're working on the front lines or anything, we will really never know. Because, for example, there's the governments and the media. Well, the governments work and own the media, but basically, uh, they are controlling everything. The World Health Organization, the WHO, the CDC, or Center for Disease Control, they control everything. Okay, they're the two primary participants in all of this, and it's government organizations. Okay, UN also has a big role to play. Now, I'm not saying all these organizations are completely 100% evil. Okay, they do some good, and they do talk about how we need to go more plant-based and vegan. Okay, or at least reduce our consumption of animal products. But for the majority part, and again, for the majority part, governments and government organizations are not here for our best interests. So how can we really tell if what they're saying is the truth? Okay, some people might say, well, I know because I've seen some people, I've heard some people die. I have friends or family that die or get ill from COVID. And it's like, we have to question everything. Okay, how do we really know? How do we really know that this is actually happening? Well, they're telling me this and it's really true and I see it with my own eyes. And it's like, how do we, okay, first of all, how do we really know if they died from COVID 19? Did we test them ourselves from the COVID 19? Did we test them on accurate, fully accurate machines or apparatuses? Probably not. Okay, even the people that claim to be on the front lines working on this right in the field, how do they know it's really happening? Because the governments and the medical industry, pharmaceutical industry could be covering up something. They could. I'm not saying that's it's definitely happening, but they could do that. And that's why I'm not for any of this stuff. I don't know if it exists, and I don't know if it doesn't exist. But the whole idea about COVID 19 pandemics and anything else for that matter is to question everything, to not take everything so lightly. Even if we see both sides of the story and whatever, not to choose one because we really don't know what's happening. Now, we definitely do know about animal agriculture, that it is an evil industry because they're killing animals. We know that. We see the bodies in the stores. This is not conspiracy. Okay, we see the bodies, we see the secretions. It's there. Okay, doesn't matter how the animals are treated. People are so delusionized, or they're so such degree of programming that they think it's all about how we treat the animals because we should treat them better and we can still consume them because we're allowed to use them. No, no, no. That's not how it works. Okay. In order to for human species to not be used and abused and all that stuff, is to give that to other beings. To other beings, give the rights to other beings. Full rights not to be used and not to be seen as property, not to be consumed or anything like that. So we know certain things are really happening, but we don't know some things are happening because there's so much government narration behind it, cultural narration behind it, that we really don't know what's happening. So with animal agriculture, we do know what's happening. Even if the treatment of animals is not the way people say it is, or maybe if these undercover footage videos are not really real, they're fabricated or they're made up or something, we know that animals are being killed. We know that animals are being used, non-human animals are being used. We know that, the environment is being destroyed out there. We know all these things. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it, and there's no dispute that environment. I've seen it with my own eyes, not just on video, but in real life. I've seen people destroying forests for animal agriculture, or at least to grow food to feed the animals. I've seen it. I've seen the animals in the slaughterhouses and in the farms. I've seen them, and they're not happy. They're treated as property. And even if they're roaming in the fields free and happy, we kill them eventually and way before their natural lifespan. So cows are able to live at least 18, 20 years, but we kill them between 3 and 8 years. So they're really young. Usually between 3 and 5 years we kill them. And because they're not profitable, they're not producing any more milk, and we just kill them for other food, hamburgers and burgers and leather and so forth. So with animal agriculture, we know really what's going on. No matter if we really don't know the treatment of the animals, it's not about that. It's about the use and the killing of animals. As well, how do we really know what's going on with the COVID? We really don't know again. I don't care who says what. I don't care what article you send me. All those articles, all those things are coming from someone, and we really don't know unless we do our own, not research, but do our own scientific experiments. And even science is based on herding culture, it's based on government, it's based on this system that we're in. So we really don't know anything. I mean, science, I don't trust science anymore. I don't talk about nutrition too much anymore because of the fact that we just don't know what is fact and what is truth, Uh, how do we know all these things? We're taught everything that we're taught in medical school is coming essentially from our culture and government, which is really a culture. His story, his story. Governments govern, govern to rule and to have authority over you. So police force, police forcing their agendas on us. So we can't trust any of it. We can't trust anything we're taught. We can't trust anything we're taught in schools or by teachers or by anyone for that matter. We can't trust anything to do with science. We don't know what is really truth. And then in the end, people say, well, how do we really know the animal's suffering if we kick the animal? Well, we do because the animal whimpers in pain. I mean, if you hit somebody over the head, they're going to start screaming. If you hit them with a hammer over the head, they're gonna start screaming. If we hit a cat over the head, they're gonna start to, make some kind of noise, be in discomfort. So we know that there is some kind of suffering there. There's no doubt about that. But we don't know other things are true. We just don't know, and that's why we have to question. And once we start questioning everything and not taking everything so lightly, then we understand, okay, now we're starting to be more intelligent because we're making these vital connections. And we understand that everything is interconnected. And we don't need facts and proofs if things are interconnected. We just know it instinctively, intuitively that we're all interconnected. That fly somehow is related to me. That tree is related to this whole thing. Like everything is connected to one another. And I mean interconnected because we all play a role with one another. We're all here for a reason. And once we understand this, then we become more liberated, more free. And once we become more intelligent, again, we become more liberated, more free, and more able to make these vital connections so that we're not enslaved by governments. We know that governments and police and all these institutions of our society, they're not here for our best interests. I tell you something. We have to I mean, if we really want to go deep into understanding this world and everything within it, the system within it, is to really go within ourselves, to meditate and to pray within ourselves, to understand that we're not here to look at external things. Now, nature might be external, but nature is actually within us. We contain nature. We contain actually everything that's non-materialistic. So that shorts that I have over there, that is a materialistic thing. Okay, that's not within me. I don't possess that shorts. I possess nature, or at least part of nature, or at least part of God. But I don't possess anything that's, I don't own anything, really. I don't own anything because when I leave this world or this dimension, I don't take anything with me. I just take who I am, me. I just take my body, and even that I don't take because I don't know what happens after that, but I don't take it. And so we have to start questioning everything. And that's the whole basis of this video is we're not intelligent yet because the intelligence is to make the vital connections. And if you want to learn more about all these ideas in detail, you can get my books for sure. Now, my older books, of course, are not going into as much detail as my newer books. But it's good to learn and to read all of them because each one has a little different perspective and some, different ideas in them. So just to let people know one thing about my books, though, is that I don't I don't agree with 100% of what I wrote in every and each book of mine because they're older books and you start to become more intelligent and you start to make more connections and thus we learn. And like I say in some of my books, I may not agree 100% on everything that I've written before, or I've said things maybe that I don't agree with now. And it's like that. We change and we evolve and we adapt, and there's things sometimes that we just don't agree with or agree on. Now, there's so many topics that right now I have very different views about, but doesn't mean that, like for example, a planet. Someone was telling me that a planet is not. I mean, there's no such thing as a planet because we don't really know, or there is no proof that we've actually gone to outer space to space, sort of say. The way I see things is that I don't know whatever happened. I don't know. I don't know if we live on a flat Earth. I don't know if we live on a sphere Earth. I don't know if we live on a square Earth. I don't know even if we live on a Earth. I mean, if we live on a planet. Maybe it's just this is it. It's a dome, some kind of dome, some kind of who knows. Maybe there's nothing beyond this. Maybe there is. Maybe we don't know. I mean, people say this and that, and NASA says this and that, but NASA's government, they lie, steal, cheat, and fabricate things and exaggerate, and they enslave us. So why should we care about what they say, what they do, what kind of so-called proof they give us? First of all, the gravity is not even a fact. We can't even prove that gravity exists. Nobody, not even one scientist, can prove that gravity exists. It's the theory of gravity. Theory does not mean fact, does not mean it actually exists. So we really don't know anything what is going on. We don't know anything about the moon landing. We don't know anything if that even happened. We don't know anything about the sphere Earth, if it's really round. We don't know any of this stuff. We can't say yes or no. And I'm not a flat earther either because I don't know if it's flat. I haven't seen it flat. It just, it makes, of course, more sense that it's more flat. But at the same time, it looks more flat. Okay? Of course, we have mountains and things like that kind of make it hilly or kind of not really flat as people claim. But it's definitely not curved like some people say. Now, there may be some parts of the earth that are curved, like if you go on a mountain and it's, you're looking down on a mountain, it's kind of curved, right? But in a sense, I don't think it's curved or flat, in my opinion. So there's a lot of things that we have to question. And I right now, I mean, all I'm here to do is to get people to understand this, to question everything in our society, no matter what society we're in, no matter what culture we're in, to question everything, to take nothing as fact, and to understand that what we need to realize is that the only thing that matters in this world is to love, is to care, is to take care of others, to not do as least harm as we possibly can, to be vegan, to respect other beings, to respect all beings, and to stop consuming animals, wearing them, doing whatever to them, and just take care of nature. Go out, plant a garden, take care of nature, poop in the garden, all kinds of stuff. I mean, stop with this trying to, figure out these things. Life is so simple. We live in a Garden of Eden already, and we're just, we're causing so much suffering, and we're making so much. We're trying to explain everything and decipher everything. It's like people are so people are very blinded. They're very confused because pertaining to this COVID-19 and all the virus pandemics that we had in the past, people are so blinded. This is all a distraction by the government. This is all a distraction by the government. If it's happening or if it's not happening or whatever, we know that we have to stop killing animals. That's one of the reasons why these things are happening. We have to stop killing the non-human animals. We have to start going vegan and being vegan and forget the rest of the stuff. This is all a distraction. Everything in the outer world is all a distraction. The only thing we need to care about is our earth, each other. Stop causing harm as much as we possibly can, and go from there. Enjoy this beautiful earth that we have, and to stop, stop trying to dissect every little thing and to analyze every little thing. Like, come on, we just need to enjoy this world. We need to use our intuition. We need to love. We need to take care of others. That's what we need to do. So become intelligent and start questioning everything. That's what I have to say for this video. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, if you want to know more in detail, then you can definitely get my books and check out our online forum to learn more about how to create veganic homesteading communities and for discussing all these ideas. And what else? That's about it, everybody. So just post down below if you have any comments or anything. No hateful comments, of course. We know we're trying to all learn here, trying to create utopian world. So that's about it. Anybody else wants to say anything or share, have a message they want to send me or anything, just want to talk during this time of the COVID-19, hit me up. That's weareinterconnected.com or peaceful-village.com/forum to access the community forum there. Yeah, so that's about it, everybody. Don't forget to get my books. I have my newest book called The Journey to Awakening with music by Moby. So check that out. Journey to Awakening. It's exclusively on Bandcamp and directly through my website at weareinterconnected.com. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.